Hiya. Check mic. Hiya, welcome to my Compound Life. I'm your host, Jonathan. This is a channel where we build assets, we build habits, and of course, we build freedom. That will be financial freedom, time freedom for you and me and anyone else that watches my channel, so that we can all move on from our day-to-day grinding rat race. We can all move from there and eventually move on to some other things. Like what I'm doing right now, YouTube is my passion project, right? So let me know, guys, have I been consistent enough, right? Because I've definitely been making video almost every day. I keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the market, especially on Bitcoin. You know, I think every one of us deserves to know what the hell is going on, you know, in a very up-to-date fashion to keep us calm, because Bitcoin itself can be very, very volatile sometimes. And probably makes sense that you guys watches my video because you guys also want to know what's going on with Bitcoin on a daily basis, right? So that's why you keep up to date. So this exactly is what I'm trying to offer of you guys, to keep you guys posted of what's going on. And what I want to chat about today is about consistency always being there, right? Because what I'm about to tell you, thanks for letting me out. What I'm about to tell you, right, might be something that perhaps it's your first time experiencing, okay? So, as we all know, Bitcoin took a little tumble recently. Tumbled from, I don't know, close to 95,000 to now around 90,000 or 89,000, okay? So, on social media, I think it's still 50-50. Some says it's a cleanup, you know, it's just a small adjustment in terms of price because of the tariff, because of Japanese bond yield. Some are actually also saying that it's all because we're heading towards a bear market. It could well be the trigger for us to get to a bear market, which by the way, I think it's absolutely possible, right? So the whole idea of today's video is to essentially guide us a little bit, right? So yesterday, one of my video, I spoke about how important it is. One of the big regret that I had was I never had stacked enough cash so that I can accumulate during the very huge dip in the bear market. And this time around, I'm just making sure that I do that, right? But at the same time, apart from knowing that you need to stack up cash, you need to buy the dip, I think one thing that I've forgotten was, especially when we head towards a bear market, this would be instances where no one will want to look at the Bitcoin price anymore, right? And I kind of felt that too, looking at my video views recently. I think, especially during the dip period, especially during the time when we were retracing, we were consolidating, my views just kind of dropped. At that time, I was thinking, was that because I'm a new content creator and YouTube doesn't really like me, so that's why they are kind of experimenting with my content? But I kind of concluded that, you know what, during key period when Bitcoin was consolidating, when there not a lot of hypes, all of you guys just left, right? And I don't want that to happen. It's not as if I want you guys to keep on consuming my content, but I think the fact that I just need you guys to be aware that, you know what, especially when we're heading towards a bear market, this will be the time when generational wealth can be made, guys. This is where, you know what, you need to stack up cash. You need to have so much cash available to buy the dips. And you need to be around. You need to stick around to actually know when the dips actually occur, right? So I think for the multiple bear market, so at least for the first Bitcoin cycle, when we get towards a bear market, what the natural thing I did was I treated everything as a failed investment. So bought some Bitcoin, I bought a lot of crypto, a lot of Ethereum, you know, all of this crypto actually dropped by 80-90%, right? Huge drop. At that time, I was like, you know what, crypto, Bitcoin, it was all a scam, it was all a Ponzi. I'll just log out from my crypto exchange and never look back. And until the next cycle, until the next time when the media were hyping out Bitcoin going to 69,000. So that was my second cycle when I heard about Bitcoin going to 69,000. And I was like, damn, I bought Bitcoin before that. That was around, I think, 8,000, 6,000, 8,000. And then it shot up to 69,000, right? Ethereum, I think I bought was something like $300, $200. And then it shot up to about 4,000. 4,000, I think 4,000, yeah, during the last cycle. So in the second cycle, I never accumulated, right? During the bear market, that was a miss, right? So I just want, this is why, that's the whole reason that I need you guys to hit the like, hit subscribe, turn on notification, so that every now and then I would reappear in your YouTube feeds, right? Every now and then, you know, you can just treat me like a friend. Just treat me like your best friend, right? You know, every now and then you might want to check out the Chinese Bitcoin guy that talks about Bitcoin for My Compound Life, right? Every now and again, check in, because ever since I've gone through the second Bitcoin cycle, I told myself, I will never ever leave and stay put for the full cycle, right? For any traditional finance, maybe the cycle is like 8 years, 10 years. It's hard to stick around, right? But for Bitcoin, come on guys, it's only 4 years, right? And so far we already, how many months? Almost 4 months of that 4 years, right? We only have like three years, 9 months left. So that marks the cycle, right? So I'm asking you guys, even if we get into a bear market, do not leave, right? That's the time you need to stick around, right? That's because you want to always buy the dip, right? So that is why I'm explaining to you guys, the next time you want to re-enter Bitcoin will be 500 days before the next halving event, right? So I think a viewer recently asked me, why November? Why do I always talk about my next best entry to buy the dip, have a kind of like a DCA, pound cost average on steroid, where I'm like chucking in more money into it in November this year? Because, why? Because usually Bitcoin all-time high, it takes about a year, 12 months to mark the bottom, right? So we had the all-time high sometime in October last year. 12 months essentially means this year around November. And from November until the next Bitcoin halving event will be around 500 days, okay? So usually that will mark the bear market, and that will eventually also mark the Bitcoin bottom. Okay, so that's when you want to DCA hard, you want to buy in hard. You know, you can always DCA right now, but for me, I'm kind of want to, you know, maximize my gain a little bit. So I will do heavier DCA towards in November period, right? Coming November, right? So this is why I'm really emphasizing that do not leave the market, because you don't want to come in again when the media talks about Bitcoin getting to the next all-time high at 150,000, at 200,000. You want to be at it now, right? So promise me, guys, do not leave, right? Just as I've promised you guys that, you know what, ever since I've learned the fact that everything is a cycle, for Bitcoin, it's a 4-year cycle, and always there will be a year worth of bear cycle. And this will be the time you need to accumulate, right? And how I emphasize so importantly that you guys need to find ways to liquidate, stack up your cash so that you can get into that accumulation zone sometime in November. That's the whole point that I'm making right now, right? So 4-year cycle, 1 year worth of bear market, that's your accumulation zone. And then you have 3 years worth of bull market where Bitcoin continues to go up. Of course, you can continue your DCA throughout that 3 years, right? But at least you actually gotten the best of the bear cycle, the bear year where you accumulated, right? So this is why I'm always emphasizing that do not leave, be consistent, you know, hit the like, hit subscribe, turn on notification so that I can keep you guys up to date, right? Or just treat me as a friend every now and then, just check in. So what I'm trying to do is I want to stay the full cycle, right? So that, you know, I can prove to you guys that this works, right? Because I've been through that, the last cycle, from cycle bottom to cycle top, and then now heading into the cycle bottom again, right? And of course, I never made any video, but I just felt it. It's actually worth the while to stay the full cycle, right? So that's why this specific cycle decided to make video on a daily basis, keeping you guys all up to date, keeping us all calm and not FOMO in to buy at the very high, and at the same time not, you know, panic sell when we don't have to, right? So that's it what I want to talk about, because I know going into a bearish cycle, bearish few months, it's actually pretty scary, because trust me, none of your friends, your family want to talk about Bitcoin, right? You're going to attend family meetings, you're going to attend family friends, dinner, lunches, right? You're going to be like the laughing stock. Everyone's going to laugh at you because of your failed investment on Bitcoin, right? I don't personally think it's a failed investment. I just felt, you know, they wouldn't know what a cycle low to a cycle top looks like. They haven't experienced it. So that's why, you know, when the media are talking negatively about Bitcoin, they also talk negatively about the asset too. So I just want to keep you guys be aware of this and make sure that you guys don't feel like a failure investing on an asset that's going downtrends, right? Essentially going downtrends. This gives us the accumulation of our lifetime, right? And knowing the fact that Bitcoin it's gonna go up more, and it's getting the price is getting so much more expensive. It's getting more scarce. There will be less and less Bitcoin that we can buy, right? You and me and some others know about this, but not many, right? So this is why I need to prepare you guys that when we get to the bear market, you know, you're not going to have a lot of friends, trust me, right? I'm trying to find my community here in the UK. I used to have a quite huge community back in Shanghai, but I kind of lost that now moving back to the UK. So that's why I'm consistently trying to make video to, to tap into the global community, right? I know that I've got viewers in the US, in Canada, in Thailand, right? In the UK, Australia, and some other countries, right? So that's why I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to stay the course. And I need to let you guys know, we all need to stay the course, continue our DCA, be part of the DCA gang, be part of the pound cost average gang, and not to get frightened out, okay? And you need to consistently check your portfolio every now and then. Or just watch my video. I'll keep you guys posted too, right? You don't want to be the guy that watch my video one time and say, you know what? The fact that I never touched Bitcoin before, I'm going to listen to you, Jonathan. I'm going to enter Bitcoin during November, because very likely you're not going to do it, right? The whole thing, you're going to forget about Bitcoin by the time it hits November, because Bitcoin price may get so bottom and it probably doesn't even deserve any news or media coverage, right? So in that case, no awareness, no one's buying. And that will be the time for us to enter, right? So that's why you need to keep yourself posted every now and then, and stay in the game. Continue to be in the game. This is the time you desperately need to be in the game, guys, right? So when Bitcoin pumps, you can just leave it pumping for another few more years, right? Because it pumps for 3 years, right? You just need to be here right now, okay? So if you like my video, please hit the like, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comment section who you are, where you're from. It's always great to hear from viewers. So don't let me talk to myself in front of a camera without any feedback, okay? So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.